Hi there, welcome to United Everything Football Podcast. Always great to come your way with this beautiful podcast we've put together for you, Man United fans here on YouTube. My name is Kwame. I'm always here with Kwame and Chubu all in his Accra Hearts of Folk shirt. So if you are in Ghana, or if you are outside of Ghana, or if you have no idea what is happening in Ghana, Ghana's biggest clash is happening. Accra Hearts of Folk versus Asante Kotoko. And both of us are Hearts of Folk fans, so we are hoping that they do the do over them. If you're a United fan and you're a Kotoko fan, I'm sorry. It won't happen. Make sure it doesn't become... You know what will happen? On Sunday, it's either those supporting Hearts United will cry or those supporting Hearts United will laugh. Like, the probabilities are there. So pray that if you support United wins.
You're on the right side.
United wins and the other club from the local side also wins. Otherwise, it can be double tears for you, whatever. But it's great to have you. Kwame, how have you been?
I've been good. Finally, United won again. So yeah, all smiles are good.
we went away for 2 games, losing 2 games in a bounce, and then we came, played against. I always forget the team's name.
Viktoria Plzen.
Viktoria Plzen. We beat them by 2-1. We are here to break down that game and also look forward to the game against Manchester City. I know you had concerns about that first half you saw in that game, because watching that game and the commentary that poured out on the day was just mind-boggling. If I wasn't watching the game, I was just following the commentary because I was on the road. But I later on caught up with the game and I really understood the sentiments of people in that game. So we'll be discussing that here on United and Everything Football. Please remember, as usual, subscribe to the channel, give us 100 likes. Yes, pause it now. Hit the like button. Okay, now let's go. Hit the like button and then leave a comment with us. Thank you very much for all the comments you shared with us on the 100th episode. This is episode 101. So another 100 episode more for us to go, and hopefully more and more episode for us to go. Let's make a quick turnaround. When we come back, myself and Kwame will delve into the games and then we'll see how things go here on United and Everything Football. All right, thank you very much. Welcome back to United and Everything Football. Thank you so much for subscribing, for liking and commenting. Please remember to like. It's very, very important. Kwame, United Viktoria Plzen happened. Very difficult ground. In fact, I read that they had not lost a game since 2002 in Europe at home. So it looks as if it was quite a very difficult ground.
Just 2 years ago.
2 years ago. 2022.
The last time they lost there was against Barcelona.
I meant 2022, not 2002. I'm sorry. It's a bit confusing. The last team that beat them there was Barcelona. I think it was in the Champions League. And United went down. Yeah. Another Andre Onana, Matthias de Ligt sort of howler leading to the first goal, but we came back strongly. But there was a few bits of concerns that we'll be talking about. Kwame, generally, what was your impression?
After back-to-back defeats, see, those of you who haven't watched the previous episode because you're upset we had lost a couple of games, it was our centenary video. Go back to that video and catch up.
Watch it. Go and watch it.
But yesterday we started off very pedestrian. That's the thing.
Yeah.
It's almost as if we are being too careful, too cautious, and there is no chemistry in the front line. That's the issue. Yeah. The build-up is slow from the back. It's more of ball retention. And when it gets up front, it doesn't stick. There is no fluidity in whichever front three that he seems to be picking now. He went to the front three of Rashford, Zexi, and Amad Diallo. Yeah. Finally, he played Amad Diallo as a forward.
Yeah.
And he looked bright, but he didn't connect with any of the other 2 forwards very well. Zexi could barely hold up the play as well as he should have. He actually started well with the mazy run, blah, blah, blah. But after that, it's hold up play and pass
fizzled out. Yep.
Off. and Marcus Rashford is totally off it. Totally off it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not getting anything from Marcus Rashford as we speak. I'm sure we'll speak more in depth as we go on about Marcus Rashford.
Mm-hmm.
But considering all the rumors leading up to the game, for somebody with the experience that he has now and what he's supposed to show that with respect to the experience up front, the rest of the other forward line, you would have thought he would have responded with a performance, but he was completely off it. He's almost as if he's given up. It feels as if he's given up. It's almost like he thinks he's not going to make it. Maybe there are things that is going on in the background with respect to his future, whatnot, but he's not living up to it on the football pitch. A midfield of Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro, I wouldn't say they played badly, because it was a battle in that midfield against the Croats. It was not an easy game for both midfielders, but I think overall you would say they did okay. They complemented each other quite okay. Bruno Fernandes had a couple of forays up front, pops at goal, all that. He was really trying. Casemiro did a decent job defensively, but you can also tell that long term we cannot do with Casemiro. We can't.
Right.
The back five was that of
Nusa Mazraoui
still in the back three.
Yes.
De Ligt and Martinez as a back three. He didn't play Lenny Yoro at all. And the wing backs were Diogo Dalot playing on the right and Tyrone Malacia playing on the left. I'll start with Tyrone Malacia. I think he's building up. You can tell he's getting better. If you compare his
first game against Bodo,
that was a baptism of fire. He got better against Arsenal. I'm glad he was thrown into the Arsenal game. And you could tell that, you know what, it gave him a bit of confidence going forward, because yesterday he looked stable. The only issue is that also when he gets forward, he doesn't put in the crosses as early as he should into the box. He only looks to play it safe all the time. And that's the problem. I think they are caught in between keeping possession and taking risks. They don't know when to do what. And fortunately, the coach identified that, because he spoke about it, that he hasn't had time to train those things because they don't have time. They have to literally be practicing it in football games. So he recognizes that problem is there. Developing the attacking game, it's lacking a bit, and it keeps showing, it keeps rearing its head. And Diogo Dalot on the right seemed okay up until the second half that he was moved to the left. Playing on the left is just a complete waste. He has no clue what he's doing on his man as a left wing back. But because we don't have any other option, and Malacia is 100% fit, he plays about 60 minutes and has to come off. The back three was okay up until Andre Onana did an Andre Onana in the second half.
What is wrong with Onana? I mean, we thought he had turned the corner. We thought he was getting out of that howler-stricken attitude that he
I don't know.
had last season.
At United, it's almost like as if when we feel we have solved one problem, then
another one rears its head.
It's just what it is. But whatever he's doing over the past couple of games is completely unacceptable.
Madness.
Playing the ball out of the back, and I don't know what he was doing. There was a turnover.
I mean, let's stay on that. We've conceded 3 goals from his mistakes. 3 goals. The last 2 games. I mean, for it to happen in succession, for all those who know me, you know that I am a big Onana fan. I'm a big fan of his personality, his character, his attitude. But you don't have to invite such pressure on yourself. We have commended him for how much he's been able to bring himself back to that level that we expected of him. You listen to him talk and he sounds like a very, very confident man. That's why I like his personality a lot. Someone who wants to lead. But you don't lead with making such mistakes in games. You put unnecessary spotlight on you and then causes other opponents. It got to a point, the coach of the opposing team said, at some point, he told his players to keep shooting at Onana. What do? You invite some unnecessary pressure on you, and then before you realize, it takes over, and then one error after another keeps going. Charlie?
I'm sure we'll get into the squad.
Yeah.
in a bit.
Yeah.
And that's one area I also want to talk about in trying to beef up the goalkeeping department, because it seems as if out there is not enough competition for him.
Competition for Onana, yes.
The thing is, you see what's happening at Manchester City, right?
Mhm.
Where sometimes they sit Ederson. I don't want to get into the details, but they bring in the backup goalkeeper, and that's a very, very good job.
Exactly.
I think look at the situation at Liverpool with their backup goalkeeper. He comes in and does a very, very good job.
Mhm.
We should get to a point where we should accept that Andre Onana does need solid competition. If Banyede is not the guy, get rid of him and then bring in a goalkeeper who can actually man the post. I don't mind if we go back to Leverkusen and go and activate our buyback clause for Krover to come back to the club, because if you can be a backup goalkeeper at Leverkusen,
you can still
play
in
European games, you can be a backup goalkeeper at Manchester United and play cup games. That's fine. So that's one thing that I would look forward to.
Mm-hmm.
After we went down, our coach did respond with a series of changes that did actually flip the game. I think yesterday our squad depth came to the fore against a team that is quite limited when it comes to that, because I think that's what won us the game. The number of substitutions we could bring off the bench and the I wouldn't say exceptional quality, but there's a gap in quality, depth in quality when it comes to us versus them. And I think that made the absolute difference, because bringing on Rasmus Højlund for a misfiring completely off Marcus Rashford, bringing on Mason Mount, yes, Mason Mount made a very big difference. And changing the four backs, bringing on Anthony to play as
right wing back,
and Garnacho to play as left wing back. We went for it. Before the game, he said we have to win this game because we have to get into the top 8 places and avoid the playoff. We don't want a Barcelona situation where you have to very difficult tie in the middle of a very hectic schedule next year. So he was determined to win this game. He just went kitchen and sink, literally. Got on Ugarte in midfield, secured the midfield, and then just had a right good go at it. And it paid off because we created a series of chances of which we were able to capitalize on a couple of them. But by the end of the day, we should have buried that game. We should have scored more. Rasmus Højlund is the one who got us our goals. Kudos to him. But even then with him, he was also culpable to a lot of bad decisions in our front line. And we'll come to those bad decisions. Alejandro Garnacho made a couple of them. Despite Ahmad also playing well, he also made a couple of them. The immaturity and selfishness of our front three was so glaring and pathetic to see.
Sterling.
The reason why I'm disappointed with this is that these players happen to be the future of the football club.
Correct.
Considering their age, considering their investment, and the supposed talents that they have. But if you look at these three players, Højlund, Ahmad, Garnacho, I was telling you in our private chat that these three, I would name 15 teams in the Premier League who have equal or better players than these front three.
Absolutely.
You'll probably just look at the relegation clubs and go like, maybe they don't match up in terms of quality. But then it shows you that there is a gap, because those who are supposed to be matured in Rashford and somebody like Anthony, right, are completely off it. But for big money, have all the experience, stay playing at a football club for as long as Marcus Rashford has had, completely off. What it means is that if you're not going to get rid of your young budding talents, the experienced players who are not cutting it at a football club may have to be cut. I'm insinuating that players like Anthony and Marcus Rashford may have run their race at this football club. I think Joshua Zexi was a bad buy and may have even cost our previous sporting director his job, right? Because recruitment was part of the issues that they had, coupled with the fact that we've come to learn that he was not ruthless enough in getting rid of certain players that should have been gotten rid of. But he didn't do that. Players like Anthony Casemiro, blah, blah, blah.
Talking about ruthlessness, I don't know. Let's shift to the shape of the squad and what needs to be done as quickly as possible before we get to the game against Manchester City. I think we should spend time talking about the squad, because we are approaching a very, very important window, which is the January transfer window, where perhaps we'll tell you we wait for opportunities to make signings. But hey, we are close to, or we've made close to making a permanent signing in a 17-year-old player from Paraguay. We'll be talking about that in a bit, and a bit of the transfer strategies, of which we are going to just discuss now. Kwame, let's look at the shape of the squad, the current squad. At the beginning of the season, yourself and myself came to City and felt that, well, this is Eric Ten Hag's team. That was a good squad of sort. But it's looking as if there are issues that we need to talk about. Let's look at the current squad. So I'm going to mention the players here at the various positions, so at the various departments, from strikers to midfielders to defense. And then you tell me which of these players deserve to stay in this club. Let's do this quick one. All right. So in attack, we have Marcus Rashford. We have Anthony Dos Santos. We have Joshua Zexi. We have Amad Diallo. We have Rasmus Højlund. These are the 5 players that we have in attack. In your estimation, how many of these, and Alejandro Garnacho, sorry, how many of these players deserve to remain at Manchester United? These 6 players.
I'd rather say Rashford should be cut off, Anthony should be cut off, Joshua Zexi should be cut off. And we bring in a couple of experienced, well-rounded forwards to replace them. Because I think Garnacho, Ahmad, and Højlund are seen as the future of this football club.
Yeah.
And would be allowed to stay, nurture, grow, and develop.
Okay, so that's you. So Kwame thinks that we should ask these 3 players and then bring in some well-experienced players to augment the forward. And I totally agree with him. I think Marcus Rashford has lost every edge and
he's run his race. Yeah.
Energy to play for Manchester United. His head is not with us. He is out of depth. He is out of ability. And one of the most important things every footballer needs is mentality. I think he has a very, very weak mentality, because I won't criticize Rashford for ability. If on any day Rashford wants to play football, Rashford will play football. But some way, somehow, he has allowed the negativity around him creep into his mind, and it looks like it's weighing down on him. He's not running much. He's not tracking back much. He's not making defensive actions. And when he has the ball, he can barely beat his marker. And I feel all of it is in the head. And I feel it's time for us to cash in. Given that we need to meet some PSR requirements, he being a homegrown player and with a certain price quota, I think it's time for us to cash in on Marcus Rashford. So I totally agree with Kwame on this particular situation. Kwame, let's look at the midfield. Now in midfield, we have Casemiro, we have Christian Eriksen, we have Bruno Fernandes. If you see the order I'm starting with, the old men. We have Toby Collier, we have Manuel Ugarte, we have Kobbie Mainoo in our midfield right now. 6 players in there, unless I've missed any other player. These are the players that are in the midfield. How many of them
simple.
Should remain?
It's quite simple and straightforward. You name the old man first, so the old man must go. Christian Eriksen, Casemiro should be replaced. They should be replaced. We desperately need an experienced number 8. You see, the thing is, we have a young core of players who have been thrown into the deep, and I feel like it's actually unfair to them. Kobbie Mainoo, Garnacho, Amad Diallo, Højlund should not be started as Manchester United. They would serve as very good squad players who wouldn't operate under severe pressure if you have experienced players, very good experienced players starting ahead of them, who allow them to mature without any added pressure. So, for instance, Kobbie Mainoo, you see him in and out of the squad now. He would be a very good player for us in the future. But I doubt he should be a starter in our midfield on a regular basis. We need a number 8 who can actually control them.
I even personally think that for his age, he has been outrun. You know, the last time when I was listening to Florentino Perez, he made mention of the number of games players like Jude Bellingham have played at their age compared to players like David Beckham. Now, these young players come onto the scene and they are playing more games. And it gets to a point, you see a sharp dip in their form. Now, Jude is now picking up. Jude started the season.
Do you know that an example of such a person in our squad?
Alejandro Garnacho.
Marcus
Rashford. Yeah. Played a lot of games.
A lot of games. Yes. A lot of games. So he seems to fall into that category of players where it's gotten to a point where you think
he is supposed
to kick on, but that is when
he's dipping. Anyway,
Who knows?
So Kwame, you're making a point that which of the players should remain?
So Meno should stay, but should be a squad player. Ugarte is definitely a mainstay in this coach's system, so should be a starter, but should be complemented by a much better, much mobile, much experienced number 8. Toby Collier, I think, should also stay around. If he isn't going to stay around, a very good loan would suit him. But I think there is something there you can work with.
Yeah.
Erik ten Hag is good at identifying young players. He may have seen something. He's been injured all this while. He's been reintroduced into the squad. I think you can find something there over the course of the rest of the season. Mason Mount is definitely valuable. He showed his value yesterday. The only problem I have with Mason Mount is he's not putting the ball at the back of the net, despite having a lot of glaring opportunities, even from the start of the season. Right from preseason, it's been like that.
Confidence.
I don't know. He gets into the right position, he does the right things, but he just doesn't stick the ball in the back of the net. For somebody who wears number 7, costs that much money, it's about time he starts giving us something. Otherwise, it's looking like Chelsea simply ripped us off. But I'd give him more time because of the system. The system suits him. He came on as one of the 10s and he played it very, very well. So he stays, and who else in
Manuel Ugarte,
of course. Bruno Fernandes, of course, stays. Yeah, so that's about it.
Okay, so in your estimation, Mason Mount, Kobe Mainoo, Manuel Ugarte, Bruno Fernandes, the only 4 people that should remain in the setup. Let's look at the central defensive area before we get to the fullbacks. So the central defensive areas, we've got Johnny Evans, Harry Maguire, we've got Matthias de Ligt, we've got Lisandro Martinez and Leny Yoro. 5 central defenders at the club at the moment.
Ineos just brought in Matthias de Ligt and Leny Yoro. They're the future of the club. Lisandro Martinez is not going anywhere, so he stays as well.
So the 2 old men.
So the 2, you see, that's the thing. It's almost like some of the players, they pick themselves. It's about time.
The 2 old men have to go.
The squad needs to get, it's a young squad, but it needs to get considerably younger, quicker, more athletic. I think that's the biggest issue. That we are not athletic enough.
We are not physical enough. You are not athletic
enough. You're not physical enough. Yeah. So whoever that we have mentioned should be replaced. The quality of one of the qualities of the replacement is not just technique and ability, but these players who would come in should be very, very athletic because you have to put that muscle into
running. The coach emphasizes on
running. The running.
Players have to run because you need to be able to recover.
Yeah. So definitely Johnny Evans goes. 100% goes. Lindelof is already a goner. He's gone. The only player that I would consider keeping, because we need a lot of central defenders, maybe Harry Maguire. Although he's old and he's slow, ideally I would have loved to get rid of him too. But
he doesn't mind being a squad player too.
Exactly. There's only that many players you can bring in one window, considering all the other areas we need to address. We've already spoken about bringing in 2 forwards, spoken about bringing in 2 midfielders. We'll probably need an extra central defender, of which people are talking about the all-famous, all-knowing Jared Brantwaite, of which I'm not very enthused about, but he seems to be on everyone's lips. See, the thing is, he's on the scouting report. Ineos are obviously looking to sign him. The Maputeers came out of the fact that we've been chasing this guy for more than 18 months. So it seems it's going to be him or nobody else. I wish we go for a different alternative, but if he comes in, I don't really have any issue.
You know the case I'll make for him.
What?
If you've watched the 3-back, aside that, if you've watched a 3-back system, the defenders on the wide sides, the from the 3 central defenders, those are the wide areas, are defenders that should be able to defend wide zones. Now, if you look at Lisandro Martinez, he finds it very difficult.
It's difficult. You're right. You're spot on.
One of the biggest attributes of Jared Brantwaite is his ability to defend wide areas. Leny Yoro, ability to defend wide areas. That is why people are saying that if you are going to stick Lisandro Martinez in, we should stick him in the middle where he can pick the ball, give those passes and all of
that. You'll be better at distributing than De Ligt, because De Ligt takes a whole lot of time to distribute.
Exactly. So that's also one area. Anyway, so
you make a lot of sense. That's what you're saying makes a lot. I've never thought about it though.
That's what a lot of people are talking about when we talk about Jared Brantwaite and why he's needed and all of that. All right, so that's it with the central defender. Let's look at the fullbacks. We've got Luke Shaw, we've got Tyrell Malacia, we've got Our 2 right backs, Nuzem Masraoui and Diogo Dalot, 4 of them. How many
I'll
should
start on the left. I'll start a left back. All the left backs should go.
they
Get rid
should
of both
go?
of them.
If
Get
at
rid
the
of,
fullbacks,
get
I'm
rid
sure
of.
you'll be left with 1.
No. See, despite the fact that I'm not the biggest fan of Diogo Dalot,
Yeah.
I've never been. Right from the day that he signed for the football club, for 6 years I've been saying it. He's had only 1 good season, and finally fans are beginning to see what I've always seen. That there is this hype and this myth about what he is, that he's this attacking flying fullback.
Yes.
But he actually isn't. It's a myth. It doesn't really exist. His makeup and his shape, his demeanor, his everything suggests he is.
Mm-hmm.
But when you watch him critically on the football pitch, he's not particularly good at anything. I don't know what he's good at. I've never known what he's good at. But last season was an outlier because everybody else was injured and he was the only one who was fit and he was giving it his all, and everybody was being like, yay, you're good at it. But come on, let's be serious here. When you look at the difference between how Mazraoui plays and you see the difference.
Technical.
Huge difference. But I would keep Diogo Dalot. It's contrary to popular opinion now. I'll keep him as a squad player. The other reason is that he can play in different positions. He seems to be fit
so he
now.
becomes
And
a bit of a utility. Yeah.
He's Portuguese to our man, to his countryman. I don't think the first thing he will do is get rid of his countryman. So he stays. He's hardworking, first person to training. He gives good interviews. He's good looking. Everything is right. So he stays. He stays with Mazraoui, but Mazraoui.
And he's durable too. You have to add it. He's become very durable.
He has become durable because he hasn't always been durable. People should be.
Yes. From last season till now, he's become very, very durable.
Yes. So I'd keep him as a squad player. But the left backs, Kwame, every single left back should go. See, the reason being that this position has cost us for almost 2 seasons now.
Yeah.
And there is no guarantee that Luke Shaw can be fit to do anything. And Taro Malacia, after the kind of double surgeries that he's had, I don't think he would ever return to the heights that he was before. I think he'll just be an okay player, but we don't need just okay. And like you said, we have already signed a left back from Paraguay.
Yeah.
A 17-year-old who looks like a tank, looks like Marcos Rojo. He looks like he's 25. I don't think that boy is going to come and play under 18s. I don't think that's the desire. That's the plan.
He's got the physicality and then the athleticism to be able to slot into
to play. So if he's going to come in, and the word being that we are looking for a senior left back, it makes you question what the future of the other left backs are. But you can't blame Manchester United for taking care of Manchester United because we're taking care of those 2 left backs.
That's it.
What we can do is to get them fit, ready for the market, and make as much money off them as possible. You sell Luke Shaw for whatever that you can get. He's also an English player. You can sell him to an English team in the league for a decent amount of money because we need to bring in money to be able to make substantial signings.
Yeah.
So to me, the 2 left backs should go. Sign one already. If we add a senior left back in Davis or Theo Hernandez or Ait Nouri or the Kerkers from any of them, actually, I'm not even choosy about it. Brant White can deputize on it. Just getting a senior fullback, and I'm good.
That's great. All right. Okay, so we'll see how that goes. Let's look at the goalkeepers. Altai Bayern there, Onana, and then our senior man, Tom Heaton.
I think Tom Heaton has run his races. About time he puts on his coaching.
Now he's not a player. He's a corn in training, and then a cheerleader, a senior man.
Him and Johnny Evans should speak to Fletcher so that the club will put them somewhere in the club. Under 20s and
now that the man is cutting costs, he will have time to accommodate.
This is our owner now. Do you know what? Let before. Okay, let's conclude with the goalkeeping thing, and then we'll talk about our owner, Ratcliffe, and the measures that he's taking. I know a lot of fans have become a bit critical of him, but I see a certain positive in what he's doing. So we'll talk about it quickly on the goalkeeper. Like I said earlier in this podcast, bring Cover back. Bring Cover back. Get rid of Bayern then to go and play whichever first team football that he thinks he's worthy of playing. I don't think he's enough competition for Andre Onana. I know Onana needs somebody who can actually take his spots. Because what we saw about Cover, even before he left Manchester United, is he can actually play. He's good with his feet. And he's a good shot stopper as well, as you've seen in the Europa League and then in the DFB Pokal where he does play for Leverkusen. He's playing in a winning team. He's going to a winning culture. He's a German league title winner, right? So he can come back with a lot of confidence, feeling like he can actually own that spot.
Yeah.
And he wouldn't cost peanuts to bring him back because we sold him for like 9 million euros. If you're going to bring him back, we're probably going to pay like 15 million, 20 million euros to bring him back. If you pay that much for a backup goalkeeper, the intention is not just for him to just come and sit on the bench, right? And I think that would either push Andre Onana to get better, or we have somebody else who can rely on if Andre Onana is just shitting himself.
All right. Okay. So Ratcliffe. That's it. Let's talk about Ratcliffe quickly before we have how many minutes do we have more to go? We have
before we talk about City.
Before we talk about City. Yeah.
Ratcliffe, see, not every decision he was going to take was going to be popular amongst anybody, fans, staff, players, everybody. But one decision that he's taking, his latest decision in sacking Dan Ashworth, is a marker for everybody. Yeah. If you thought getting rid of Alex Ferguson from the role that he was a marker, this is an even bigger marker because this is somebody that he chased for ages, but he has faltered in his eyes in terms of what his expectations of him was. How are you at Manchester United where people are just bringing in weird people and weird contracts and just siphoning money? And then you bring Joshua Zexi to the football club because he was on Newcastle's list. You fail to get rid of Casemiro, Anthony, and certain players. And then the recruitment itself is a bit sketchy, right? When it came to the sacking of Erik ten Hag, you were a bit sensitive in sacking him. And worst of all, the kind of replacement you wanted for Erik ten Hag were people that you knew. Nepotism will be the end of certain people.
Yeah.
Our owner wasn't impressed with that and quickly asked a man he went to war with. What that message sends, and that's the positive aspect I want to talk about, it's a message to even the other people like Berrada and Wilcox, that he's not afraid to pull the plug on you. You don't fall short of expectations. We want to get better, and get better quickly in terms of our squad, in terms of competing for Premier League titles, in terms of everything. It's even a marker to our coach. But most importantly of all, it's a marker to the players at the football club. That if he's quick, he can get rid of his technical director, his sporting director, he can get rid of you easily. And he wants players to be out of the squad. You know, we used to hear these rumors, doesn't like Anthony, doesn't like Casemiro because of the amount of money that we bought. He actually means it. And he expects these players to be gotten rid of. So what I expect is for Wilcox, for Berrada, and for Vivel to be on top of their game, not just in the summer that is coming next year, but right from the January transfer window. They've already started with signing one player, but we need to get rid of players starting January, the players that we've spoken about already, some of them, and bring in a couple of players even before the summer. We have to be active, be ruthless in getting rid of players. To be able to bring in as many good players as possible.
Very important. Marker. Very, very important that we're able to get all of these things done and sorted at Man United. All right, guys. So let's look at this, Kwame. Against City, two teams that are going through it. City have won just one game in the last 10 games, have lost 7 games in the last 10 games. Man United struggled throughout the season, had difficulties, not won any big game this season. I mean, all for some time now. I mean, I don't remember the last time United won a big game. Yes, it's been like that. But this is a game against Man City. Is this the right time? This is a question people ask the coach. I'm asking you, is it the right time to play Man City?
You have to look at Amorim's record in the league. He's won 1 in 4. So if you're asking me, is it the right time? It's not like we're in good form in the league. We've lost our last 2 league games, including one against Forest at home. So we are not in good form. It puts you in this situation where you don't actually know what to expect going into this.
Exactly.
Right? Nobody has a clue what to expect. The last thing that we would want is a third league loss. I think going there with City out of sorts, players injured, that their injury list is well documented. Pep has been crying about it, like how
I want my players back.
Injuries last season. Pep is doing something that are not known to any of us. He's literally crying every single time.
I want my players back.
At press conferences on the touchline, he looks distraught. He's scratching his face like a psychopath. Things aren't going well for him. The last time Amorim met him was a a 4-1 drubbing. Like Amorim actually beat him 4-1 with Sporting, but that was Sporting. This Manchester United team, I don't know whether we can pull it off. I wouldn't want us to go there and be the team to revive City's season. What we want is for us to go there and capitalize on City's poor form and at least do a Spurs. If you're losing all your other matches, when you meet City, at least beat City. Stick your boots in them and then let them continue their pain. So hopefully we go there and reverse our poor league form by getting a very good result. The thing about going to City is we are one of the few teams that actually can go to City and win. Based off just the rivalry, we can go there. Arsenal fans have a right good go at us saying City, blah, blah, blah. They are the ones who can't beat City, who have been allowing City to just dismantle them. We have actually beaten City, coupled with Liverpool, of course, on more occasions than anybody else since Pep Guardiola came to England.
In fact, as it stands, it's us.
Exactly. So we do take our points off City, and hopefully we'll be able to do so again. The thing is, what starting 11 do you think we should go with? If you were to go with a starting level, what would you guess?
Can you guess this coach right now? But I look at the
so
pattern.
Hard. That's the thing.
I look at the pattern. I know Euro didn't play, so it's very likely Euro comes in. He would definitely play Matthias de Ligt. He would definitely play Nuzem Mazraoui. I think Euro will come in for maybe Lisandro Martinez or something, because he's probably going to prioritize issues of physicality and also the height and all of that, because playing Erling Haaland can be handful for a lot of these players and the set pieces and other things. So I'm sure he's going to play Len Euro in that game. At left wing back, definitely Diogo Dalot plays, and he's definitely going to revert Ahmad back as right wing back in this game. In the midfield, Mainu didn't play in midweek, so definitely Mainu comes in. Ugarte came from the bench, so definitely it's going to be a Mainu Ugarte midfield. Bruno Fernandes, whatever happens, the player that recovers very well, very fast, definitely likely to play. I expect Alejandro Garnacho to play. He didn't start against Plzen, so I expect Alejandro Garnacho to play, and I think he will stick with Rasmus Højlund as a striker. This is what I'm thinking. This is what I think that will be happening.
I'll just make a slight variation to your backline. I think he should play with Mazraoui as a right wing back instead of Amad Diallo, and play Euro at right centre back, De Ligt centre back, and still play Martinez at left centre back. And I would start Taro Malacia instead of Diogo Dalot at left wing back.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
The rest remains the same.
Thank you very much. But I think we would, if we play our cards very well, we are compact as we were against Arsenal, we'll have our spaces behind City and we would have our opportunity to score. One thing that I've seen working in this Amorim system is that we are not conceding too much glaring chances in the last couple of games. Like where you think they've cut us open and we are facing a whole lot of shots. I think it's something that we are trying to do. And I hope that if we're able to put up that same show we did, especially in the first half against Arsenal, I think we may have a chance in the game against Man City. That's what I just think. We'll see how it goes. Thank you very much, Kwame.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. We'll see how it goes. Thank you very much, Kwame. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for subscribing, liking, and also sharing the video. We will see you after the Manchester City game. We'll go through it with you here on United and everything. Subscribe, like, share the video. We'll see you on the next one. Have a great time. Bye-bye.